Now your host, Jenna Gullo.
Good morning, Bismarck Mandan. Hope you are doing well today. I'm just texting my mother, who just got a phone and learning how to text, that we have the radio show today. Hello to my parents tuning in from Western New York and all of our listeners nationwide. We get to say
abundance.
Yeah, we get to say that nationwide. We have people tuning in online. Go down to Super Talk 1270. A special thank you to Town Square Media and Jim Walsh for giving us this airtime every other Tuesday. You can find us here from 11 to noon. Co-hosting with me today and always is the rock star, Ms. Amber Jensen.
Good morning, everyone. And we may have a few extra listeners today. I did a conference call with Julie Dahl and Teresa Crest. They said they're going to tune in. So hello to those ladies as well. I told them not to laugh too hard.
Well, they can, because we want to be entertaining.
That's
We don't
right.
want to be boring. So I hope they're giggling out there. I mean, those are two fantastic women. They're part of Women United. Julie Dahl is also a reviewer for our community impact process. So she was just at a site visit with me the other day. And honest to God, it's one way when you get involved in the community impact process at United Way, you become even more of an advocate than you were before, because you see how important it is, how we hold the agencies accountable, how we are good stewards of the donor dollars. And we have our volunteers and donors. Really, you're the ones that make the decisions on how your dollars are used. So we had this one agency, I said, well, gosh, after I added up their numbers for projected revenue, I said, well, geez, the writing's on the wall. I mean, it's really just a matter of months before they have to close up shop. And it was a horrible place to be in, to have that discussion. But at the same time, that's part of what we do at United Way, is we help to have agencies come up with a plan for sustainability and making sure that they have the operational reserves, making sure that they're not just working out of a place of crisis all the time, because then you can't really focus on providing quality services. So it was a really tough discussion that we had. We're going to try to come up with some ways that we can provide some support to build capacity within our nonprofit sector. But a big thank you to Julie Dahl and all the time that she's put into the United Way in our community. I think this is her second year in reviewing applications.
Yeah, and she just talks about how much she loves it. And this morning we were talking about the Adopt a Classroom program and getting that kick-started for Women United. And so if you're listening and interested in volunteering with the United Way Adopt a Classroom program, businesses, individuals can sign up. We'll pick a school. We can go once a month. We can go twice a month. And whatever fits for your schedule, it's a great opportunity. A lot of these kids don't have a positive role model. I think in our last needs assessment, we saw that 35% of kids in Bismarck-Mandan don't feel they have a positive role model, or do have a positive. Mm-hmm. So many out there don't feel that they do. And so if we can take kids out for lunch, play with them on the playground, help them with their math or their reading skills, what a great opportunity to be that influence for those kids and help them grow to be more successful.
So as a business, you can adopt a classroom, which is really neat, and take turns. So it's not you in particular having to go in every week and set aside that time. That can be challenging. I know in my schedule it doesn't always work, but you get to share it with your coworkers. Or let's say you work from home, or you're a single mom, or a stay-at-home mom or dad, and you want to get more involved. You want to go into the classroom. If you're a part of Women United, you can take turns with other Women United members. And we even had a little kid this last year at Saxvik tell Dorothy Lick, who's our chair of our Women United, I wish you were my mom.
It's so sad.
It is so sad. So sad and yet so powerful.
Right.
That an hour a week or an hour a month or whatever you can give can make such a big impact in kids' lives.
And not only the kids' lives, but your own personal well-being once you get done. And, I know when Dorothy at the end of the year got, I think, 15 thank you cards from all of her kids that she was with all year round. And what a great feeling to have those memories and to know that you really made a difference in some of these kids' lives. Maybe it was only a few of them, but deep down you know it changed something.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for something fun to get involved in, the Little Black Dress campaign is coming up.
Yeah, September 19th. I can't believe kids are already going back to school and we're talking about events in September.
In Bismarck, they go back on Thursday.
Ugh. But yes, the Little Black Dress campaign is a poverty awareness campaign that Women United started 3 years ago. Really what it is we have teams this year. So gather your friends, your coworkers, a maximum of 6 teams with the goal to raise $1,500 for our community. And so I will be picking out my black dress here shortly, and I'll be wearing it all week. And so September 19th through the 22nd to really show what it's like to maybe open up your closet and you're trying to get a new job or you're trying to get back on your feet and you only have that one outfit. What would that feel like going from your day-to-day life, and just what opportunities would be available to you? And so at the end, we'll donate our dresses to the Seeds of Hope Career Closet. I think in the past couple of years, we've already donated over 250 outfits to them. And so if you're not aware, the Seeds of Hope Career Closet run by the Abused Adult Resource Center, you can go there and get 7 days worth of outfits. Really incredible if you're starting out of college, if you're trying to get back on your feet. What a great opportunity to have those resources for you. And so, yeah, join United Way, Women United for the Little Black Dress. It's a lot of fun. And for the ending event on Thursday, all we have to say is some pretty awesome designer bags are going to be up for silent auction.
I know. I saw them in our office. Some donations already. We're talking about new Coach bags, new Kate Spade, and we're going to be auctioning those off.
Yeah. One bag that we just got, I am not a purse girl, but this one is incredible. It's Mandarin Orange. It is Marc Jacobs, and it is a $1,300 value. So
that's crazy.
None of us would maybe spend that much, but heck, you can get it at a silent auction, and it will go to a good cause.
And so that's the week of September 19th.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that event is September 22nd. It's open to anybody. We'll have beer and wine samples. We'll have live music with the Geffro Brothers. Heritage Center, 6:30 to 8:30. Tickets are only $40.
Yeah. You got to go. Hey, my mom just texted. Hi, Mom. Thanks for tuning in. You're getting good at texting. Way to go there, Babs. Not bad for a 75-year-old young chick like yourself. And Amber Jensen, you're going to be taking off a few days. You're not allowed to, first of all. But I guess you have a pretty big thing coming up this weekend.
Yes, I am getting married.
Woo!
So
the countdown is on.
Yeah. If you need anything at the office, ask Jenna.
Definitely. And for the next month, ask me. Let Amber just bask in the glow of marriagehood.
Yeah, we're excited.
So congratulations
Thank
to you and Kurt. I can't wait to see you and Corey Rolstead saying the sermon. I don't know how you say that. That'll be so much fun. I'm so excited for you, and you deserve a break. A big break. So join us in just a few minutes. We're going to be talking about the United Way campaign. We have in studio Jessica Haptonstall from Bartlett and West.
Right now, 70.
The Red River Farm Network. Ag News is here on Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back. I'm Jenna Gullo. I'm the executive director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. It's a long name for the United Way that covers Bismarck, Mandan, and a 10-county area surrounding us. We are so incredibly grateful that you are supporting us at the level that you are every single year, and that you're becoming more engaged with the work that we do, because we couldn't do it without you. We have incredibly low administrative expenses. Literally, our last audit, I think we were between 4 and 5% of our total revenue that even goes towards admin, and that's too low. But that's why we need you to get more involved, and also how we make sure the dollars are going where you want them to go. So it's a really interesting balancing act, and we do appreciate you taking the time to get more involved. Co-hosting with me today is Amber Jensen. Amber is the operations manager at United Way, and also going to be Mrs. Rajishka this weekend.
It's brutal, huh? Good morning, everyone. I've already, Mary, in our office, we were writing some documents for after this weekend because I'm getting married. And she was like, okay, can you spell that? And then she's like, can you spell that again? So it's going to be a learning curve.
So it's not going to be Jensen Rajishka?
I wish.
It's just going to be Rajishka.
Yeah, it will be.
No, I like that too.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. If I ever get married, which I never will, but if I did, I'd change my name. It'd be hard, though, because I like my last name, Gullo, even though no one can say it in North Dakota.
That's right.
I still appreciate it. My heritage.
Gulo. Isn't that how they say it?
Yeah, they say it all sorts of ways. Yeah. But, we took my parents. My parents were visiting. I had the best 2 weeks ever. Love having them here. Trying to get them to move here. And we went down to Sturgis to the bike rally. My dad's 81. My mom's 75. And they're young, though. They're young spirits. And that was, just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say I now have my motorcycle license.
Oh, wow. You passed.
Yep. I passed.
You got the bug.
I did. And so now I guess I'm going to have to go motorcycle shopping. So.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't do that Sunday when you passed.
Actually, I did. I started to, and I went on some test drives, but I don't know. I just, I want a bike I can practice on, because that's cheaper.
I could sell you one. I have one in my garage.
Yeah, Kurt's trying to sell Sportster, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's available.
Maybe. It is a cool looking one. So if there are any folks that have good advice on which bike I should get, or if they have a cheap bike they want to sell, give our office a call at 255-3601. Call us at United Way. So now speaking of money or the need for money, we need money it's not just about volunteer time. We actually need physical dollars to make a lot of the programs in the community work. And we fund over 30 different programs and agencies. Everything from, helping the elderly, making sure they're getting fed and getting meals delivered, to getting health care and foot care and diabetes prevention and all sorts of good things for the elderly. But we're also making sure we have a place for people who are victims of domestic violence, a safe place to go and a place to get out of their current situation. I mean, everything that United Way does affects our lives in some way. You might not think it does, but it does. In fact, we have hundreds of people at local businesses that lead employee campaigns throughout our community, and they're really the ones on the ground that are getting people more involved and having us come in and speak to their employee group. And so we are really honored to have Jessica Haptonstall from Bartlett and West with us. She's an employee campaign manager, and just rocking the United Way campaign this is going to be
actually just my second year.
Year two at Bartlett and West. And honestly, between you and Teresa Crest and your whole group over there, you guys just have really become some of our top donors from a business standpoint. So thanks, Jessica.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for getting everyone riled up over there.
We're honored to do it. We're very passionate about our community. Bartlett and West's purpose is to lead our communities to a better tomorrow. And one of the ways we can do that is by serving our community. Mm-hmm. And United Way is a great vehicle for that.
Well, you guys have just gotten more and more involved. In fact, you've been probably our largest sponsor for our United Way backpack program.
We're very passionate about the backpack program.
Tell me about it. What do people say at your office, and why are you so passionate about it?
Because there shouldn't be hungry children in our country, in our state, in our community. There shouldn't be hungry children. And we're a very family-oriented company. And people are excited about doing it. They want to bring their children in. We were doing it during business hours, and people were like, oh my gosh, my children would be so impacted by this. So we started doing it in the evenings when we provide pizza for them, and the kids come in and they just think it's the greatest thing to be able to help other children in the community.
So your group is packing and then delivering 789 backpacks full of food through the United Way backpack program to kids in Bismarck and Mandan.
Yes, ma'am. And we sponsor it twice, so we do it twice a year. And then if we need to pack more for you guys and we can make it happen, then we'd be more than happy to do that.
Wow. We appreciate that. So now, Jessica, you were nominated to be the employee campaign manager. For those people listening out there, talk to them about what that means.
It means a lot of work. Being a campaign manager is It takes a lot. It takes a lot of your heart. It takes a lot of your time. And I could not do it without my committee. They are amazing. And, you know, we've already started planning, and we're not having our campaign until the middle of November.
Wow.
So,
well, it's going to be even twice as good since you start so early.
What's the theme for this year? Because last year, didn't you have football, if I recall, when we stopped by?
They're not willing to give that up yet.
Oh, so it's still football.
So it's not just football. We wanted to do something that could get old, young, male, female, all of them involved. And who doesn't love fall and food? And some people don't love football, but most of them do. So we combined those three into one thing, and we've had so much fun with it. Last year we had a huge tailgate party, and you know, the more people, the sooner they turned in their pledge forms, the sooner they got more tickets to put into prize drawings, and we did fun games via email so that our employee owners outside of the office could participate, and we had lots of grand prizes, and we had a homecoming king and queen.
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
How do you have a homecoming king and queen? How did that work?
Yeah. So, well, homecoming, obviously you think homecoming football, but it was the two people who participated the most throughout United Way Week.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
We took the man and the woman that were at every event and that were really doing things not because they were trying to win things, but because they just wanted to be involved with it. And last year was Zach Christian and Jesse Upham were our homecoming king and queen. So that was really fun.
Bartlett and West.
Yeah.
We need pictures of that.
I've got them. I'll email them to you.
You know, so when you're talking to other people in the community and you tell them what you do for United Way, what are some key things that you mention of why you do what you do and trying to encourage other people to get more involved?
Yeah, I haven't always been so charity driven. It's taken changes in my life or things that have happened to people in my life that have made me realize how important charity is. And a leader in my life said once that, you know, we're all travelers on the same road. And sometimes we just need a helping hand. And so that really affected me. And charity is one of the biggest things that we can do, one of the greatest things that we can do. We don't all have a lot, but we all have a little that we can give. Whether
and it
it's
adds
our time.
up?
It does add up.
Gosh.
It
our
adds up
goal,
quick.
yeah, our goal is $2.6 million this year.
We'll hit it, no problem.
We're going to hit it, no problem.
Sure, no problem.
We need you at the United Way office. Can I talk to James and tell him we just need to borrow you and get you out there talking to companies?
I will help you however I can.
Jessica, thank you. Thank you so much for really leading the charge over at Bartlett and West. And thanks to James Todd and everyone over there for really being community leaders and leading the way and showing what other businesses have the potential to do as well, because we need to get more businesses like Bartlett and West on board with United Way.
Yes, we do.
We appreciate you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Haptonstall from Bartlett and West. Listen, if anyone is available and wants to learn more about the United Way, we will be over at Cashwise on this Thursday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. They are going to be grilling out for us, and all the donations go to United Way.
Yeah, and we will be at Specialized Cleaning and Restoration for their monthly Give and Grill next Wednesday. That starts at 11:30 a.m. until all the food runs out. And if you haven't had their pulled pork sandwiches, you are missing out. So join us for those events this Thursday and next Wednesday. And we will be right back with Kathy Wamsley from the United Way office to talk more about the United Way campaign.
Right now, 70.
Live news headlines and weather together. Weekdays on Super Talk 1270.
Hello, Bismarck, Mandan. I'm Jena Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. And thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Jessica Haptonstall from Bartlett and West and everyone over at Bartlett and West for sponsoring our United Way backpack program, for doing a huge employee campaign, being an awesome corporate sponsor. Oops, and Siri is talking to me. Sorry. Siri, not now. That's my friend, my one friend in the world, Siri. So We are talking with Kathy Walmsley, who's our campaign coordinator, who's been doing a phenomenal job. And we also have Ms. Amber Jensen, who's the operations manager at United Way. So we're just going to chat for the next 10 or so minutes about what it means if you're listening out there and you don't have an employee campaign. By golly, get one.
Call us.
Do it. Just do it. The Olympics are over now, so now it's time to focus on your community in the United Way.
That is correct.
So Kathy Walmsley, talk to us about why people should get involved in the United Way.
Well, there isn't a better way to give back to the community. We support 33 different nonprofit agencies and 57 programs within our community. And without those agencies in our community, we could not do what we do and see in our community the greatness that we have. We do a very great job of taking care of our problems in our community, and that's all due to what the United Way does and our agencies do to help take care of the problems within our community.
Yeah. What I oftentimes say, because sometimes people will say, well, I'll just give direct, which is not bad. I don't care. Honest to God, if people give, that's all I really truly care about, is that they're making a conscious effort to give. The nice things about United Way is we do needs assessments, so you know where the gaps are in the community. You know where some of the greatest needs are, which populations, because sometimes perceived needs doesn't mean actual needs. I mean, there was just this huge long thread on Facebook talking about the issue of homelessness. Well, we don't need emergency shelters. They've never been really full. I mean, very few times in Bismarck and Mandan have they even been at capacity. And so we have the emergency shelter space, but what we're truly needing is the case management. What we're truly needing is the transitional and supported housing. And at United Way, you find that out. You find that there's 1 in 5 kids going hungry. You find out who is doing a really good job and who is trying to do a good job, has a good heart, but maybe isn't the best place for your dollars. And so you're a part of making all of those decisions. So when people want to get involved, what are the first steps in becoming or having an employee campaign?
It's very easy. All you have to do is call the United Way office, and we can schedule a time to come out and talk to your company about what an employee campaign would mean and exactly how to do the campaign. It's a great way for employees to get involved on another level. They can run the employee campaign, work with their coworkers, form a team. They do fun events. They can do food drives. They can do bake sales within their office. We have all sorts of different ideas where you can do additional events within your company to raise additional money along with the employees. And it's very easy. We have pledge forms that the employees can just fill out and turn into their one person, and that comes back to the United Way office. So very, very easy to do an employee campaign. And it can be an office of 5 or it can be an office of 200. I think that's sometimes a misperception that our company's not big enough. There's only 3 of us, or there's only 6 of us. If we have everybody in Bismarck Mandan giving a little, we can have a huge campaign and reach that $2.6 million goal.
I think one thing that's nice for individuals or CEOs that are looking for leadership opportunities for some of their employees, what a great opportunity to get them involved, have them step up and lead this for their company. They get the exposure within their company, especially if they're large, like you mentioned, 200 or so. Or if they're an office of 4, give them something to really take pride and ownership of. And so if they're listening and they say, wow, what's this employee campaign manager? I want to get involved. You have a few trainings left, or one training for sure. And when and where is that?
We have a training on September 13th, and it's going to be at the Burleigh County Senior Center. It's from 8:30 in the morning until 12:30. So if you are interested, you can just give me a call at the United Way office, and I can get you signed up for that training. If that doesn't work for you, we can always come out and do one-on-one trainings, get you your packet, get you all the information that you need to have a successful campaign. And don't be worried about starting. Just get started, and everything just starts to fall into place.
What makes it really nice to have a United Way campaign at your place of business is that you have payroll deduction that's oftentimes authorized. And so you give $5 a paycheck. Well, that's a backpack full of food through the United Way backpack program. Or you give $12, that's a night of shelter at our domestic violence shelter. And so every little bit really truly adds up. The other thing I wanted to mention is that some of our major companies, like MDU Resources, they use this as a leadership opportunity and a way for people to gain new skills and advance throughout the company, which I think is fantastic. And what Jessica from Bartlett and West was mentioning too is if you're a larger company, try to spread out the work, quote unquote, the work, volunteer work for United Way, and get a committee, because those are usually the ones that are most successful.
And those committees are a lot of fun. I hear from the committees last year, and Jessica's a good example, and that's why she was on the show. She just started with the campaign 2 years ago, and she already took it over this year as the lead doing the employee campaign. But they have so much fun. So it's an added value to their job and to their work day. Sometimes it just is redundancy. You go to work, you do the same thing all the time. So this just adds a little bit of extra fun into their work. So it's not work. It's actually enjoyable, and then they get their coworkers involved. And like Jenna said, having a team, with 3 to 5 people, if you're a bigger company, really makes a difference. And then you work together for that creativity.
Yeah, so you authorize payroll deduction, you assign the leader to be the ECM, the employee campaign manager, or you identify a committee, and then you invite United Way in, and we can talk for 2 minutes at a staff meeting or at different department meetings. We can talk for 10 minutes, 30 minutes. We can invite one of our partner agencies in to talk to you about their work as well. And the value is that you know where your dollars are going, how they're being used, that they're filling gaps in the community, that they're going where they're needed the most. That's truly the value of United Way, and that we're solving problems. We're not just throwing money at them. So there are a couple events coming up that certain businesses are taking part in, and Cashwise has something going on this Thursday.
They do. They're doing a Give and Grill for us on Thursday, and it is from 5:30 to 6:30 at Cashwise. And you can come. They're doing brats and chips and a pop, and you can come out, support Cashwise and also the United Way. All funds raised at that event will go towards United Way. And then next Wednesday, Specialized Cleaning is doing a Give and Grill for us at their location. It's from 11:30 to 12:30. And I have heard, I haven't attended it in the past and will definitely be there, that it is some of the best pulled pork sandwiches that are out there. So if you can join us next Wednesday, August 31st from 11:30 to 1 or till the food runs out. So come early, because I heard it's fairly highly attended and delicious food and supporting a great cause. All those donations go to the United Way.
I've gone before many times, and it is delicious. And also, it's just fun to socialize with everyone. So a big shout out to Specialized Cleaners. They do this 3 times a year for different charities, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great when you can just, if you're wondering what United Way is or you're wanting to learn more or get involved, come to events like this, because many of the United Way ambassadors, some of our board members love to attend these, and they can spread the United Way message sometimes way better than I can, or talk about why they're involved in, and you really see the passion for why so many people in our community see the value add of United Way. And it's just really incredible when we can all come together, talk about how we can better our community.
You know what Terry Kraft says from American Family Insurance? Give Terry a little shout out. Terry says, it's not about just donating to a charity. When you look at the United Way, it's the charity in our community, because we have such a good pulse on what the needs are, and we're doing the work in the most efficient an effective way. There has been a time in the past where an agency isn't using the funds as they said they would and as they were granted out. And so we've stopped funding them. Typically, we'll try to work with them and help them with financial management and whatnot. But, at the end of the day, if they're not making the best use of donor dollars, we're going to pull the plug.
Yeah. And as you mentioned earlier, you guys are doing your agency visits right now. We're trying to wrap up our 2017 allocation period for this upcoming year. And you've already had to make some really tough visits and tough discussions with agencies to not only build their capacity, but make sure the dollars that we're allocating to this next year is getting used to where it should be.
And Kathy, what does the campaign cabinet do for United Way? Because this isn't just a staff-driven effort here.
Yes, without volunteers, the United Way could not do what we do. The campaign cabinet, we have local volunteers that come from corporations, different small business. We have retiree residential. We have 10 different divisions that we have people sit on a cabinet that meets once a month during the campaign season. And then they have people underneath them that go out and do these presentations and help us get the word out to the community.
Perfect. Great networking opportunities. If you want to help out the United Way, call our office 255-3601 or stop in. We're at 515 North 4th Street in Bismarck. Thanks to Kathy Walmsley, campaign coordinator at the United Way.
Right now, 75.
Dave Ramsey is heard here. Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back. I'm Jena Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. Come meet us this Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30 at Cashwise. They will be grilling out, having brats, chips, and pop. Free will donation to the United Way. It's part of their United Way campaign. And next week, join us for lunch on Wednesday at Specialized Cleaners for their Giving Grill. We are ever so grateful to them for having a free will donation going towards the work, the problems that we're solving at United Way. So I'll see you this Thursday night at Cashwise and next Wednesday at Specialized Cleaners. You are listening to United Way's Community Talk. Co-hosting this show with me is Amber Jensen, our operations manager, and we have a special guest, a gal who's really taken over the United Way office this summer. Mackenzie Fritz is our intern extraordinaire, and we're going to be turning the tables a little bit and handing the show right over to Mackenzie. Take it away.
Good morning, Jena. Good morning, Amber. Or I guess almost afternoon at this point.
Thank you for having us here, Mackenzie.
You're welcome. My privilege. I guess today I wanted to ask you some questions. I'll be a recent college graduate, and this summer has been really enlightening as far as job possibilities to some extent. So I wanted to ask you about your experiences at United Way and in the nonprofit world in general. So.
Absolutely. We're here to serve.
Well, you take the hot seat first, Jena. So
I'm nervous. I'm sweating bullets.
Yeah. So how long have you been at MSA United Way, and how have you seen it change?
Oh, wow. Dramatically. I've been in my 7th year at United Way. It has been a whirlwind. It really has. And I actually remember I was over in a small village in Rwanda when I learned of the United Way job. And actually I had gotten I received an email from Mikey Hoven, who's the first lady, at the time was the first lady of North Dakota. She's now the first senator lady. I don't know what you call her when she's the wife of our senator. And so she told me about the job. And I honestly thought of United Way as a fundraiser, and I had no interest whatsoever. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. It's not why I got into this work to begin with. And it wasn't until I realized the direction that the board of directors wanted to take United Way in that I really got excited. I got excited about the potential. You know, United Way has always been very well respected and valued in our community, and it's always done really great work. But we mostly just raised money, and then we would raise a little bit more every year, have maybe a 3 to 4% increase, and we'd just scatter it around to people doing good things with good hearts. And that's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of need in our community. But since we've transitioned to an impact model, we are making so much more value for the dollars we're raising. We're having better accountability for the agencies who receive United Way dollars. We're holding ourselves more accountable, and we're actually solving problems. Hunger is one of the main issues in our community that I think most people just think this is absolutely ridiculous that kids in Bismarck and Mandan are going hungry. Well, we easily started the United Way backpack program. We were able to get that launched within weeks. Businesses supported the program, sponsored it, volunteers are packing and delivering. And that's just one example of a small problem. So kids are no longer going hungry when they're out of school. And then we're tackling the root causes. So we're targeting more dollars towards preventing issues from happening in the first place and rallying the community around that.
Right. And as someone who is from out of town as well, were some of these issues then surprising to you? And do you think that's why it's so important that we do focus on this impact model?
Well, it's funny because I'm from a small town from New York, and people always think New York City, but it's really a town of, I don't know, maybe 10,000 or so. We're an hour south of Buffalo, which is a big city. But one of the things that was surprising when I first moved here, it was almost like moving into a Norman Rockwell painting. I mean, everything just seems so picturesque and so perfect. And quite frankly, Bismarck has changed in the last 11 years that I've lived here. And so now seeing that we have these drug issues that are worse than ever, really, having hunger and people having difficulty accessing services, there's so much more we can be doing on a local level and doing it in a smarter way. And it's really pushing North Dakota, right, to be more on the cutting edge of how we need to change the way we look at our problems.
Right. Thinking or acting locally, that is.
Right.
Thinking nationally or thinking globally. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Amber, now it's your turn. Dun, dun, dun. But I suppose one of the things I've noticed over this summer a lot is because of this impact model, we've really got to get our message out there. And as a college student, using social media for outreach and activism is sort of second nature. But I think it's something that a lot of nonprofits struggle with. And even at the United Way office, it's something we're constantly having to put a focus on. So how do you think, we can reach out to more people and use social networks or other sources to some extent to act on that and really get our message out there?
Yeah, it's definitely a platform I think some nonprofits really struggle with. It can be free, but as we all know, when you go on Facebook now, you're seeing ads, you're seeing your friends' content, you're seeing businesses that you may have liked. And so unfortunately, a lot of times nonprofit messaging and events that they have coming up kind of get lost in the shuffle because we might not be able to afford to boost our post or to help spread our message. And so I think it's as important for not just the nonprofit to really be using social media and using a variety of platforms, not just Facebook or Twitter, to also be blogging, but to also get people that are your own community advocates, getting them to be your board members or our Women United group, that when we spread something out on Facebook or out into the global world, that they're spreading that message too, and that they're being an advocate when they're talking with their girlfriends over a glass of wine, and really using that to help build your reach and to also spread your message. The United Way message is pretty big. We do a lot of things in our community, from helping seniors to helping kids with disabilities, and so we have a lot of great things that are going on, and trying to get that message across can be difficult. So it's always a challenge for us at United Way and for other nonprofits.
Right. And you definitely want to show this message is personal, or it should be personal, because these issues certainly are personal and really affect individuals in the community. But you also have to kind of back that up. And I think for me, something that's been surprising is the amount of statistics and buzzwords that are used in nonprofit agencies. And how do we get our message out there while showing that we are doing good, that we have the resources to back this up without kind of confusing that message in the process? Like when we say community impact, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I think we do that all the time. I know when you started and we were like, DPIL, and you're like, I don't know what DPIL is. Well, that's our Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And so making sure we make it simple and making sure people can relate to it, because they want to be able to be a part of the change and be able to say, you know what, I can help solve that, and I can do it. And so the more simple we can make the message, I think the better, because people can relate to it and really help us spread that message as well.
Right. And let's say that hopefully people do get this message and we want to get it out there and they see it and they want to act on it. How, with the busy school season starting and everyone going back to work, summer breaks coming to an end, I know we've talked a little bit about Little Black Dress and quite a lot about campaign, but for both Jena and Amber, how can people be active?
I think the biggest thing is go to volunteerbisman.com. Look at what all agencies in our community, even non-United Way agencies, post their needs, both volunteer needs and in-kind needs, on volunteerbisman.com. And so what a great opportunity to just browse through all the opportunities, see what ones fit your schedule. If you're interested in being a reader, tutor, mentor with the United Way Adopt a Classroom program, that can be extremely flexible. Do you have an hour a month that you can give to help read to a child? Go to volunteerbisman.com and see what fits in your schedule.
I agree. I've worked with that one a lot this summer, and I think it's a great resource for our community. Well, thank you, Amber, and thank you, Jena. I will let you take us out.
Well, you did a fantastic job. You're so well poised and eloquent, Ms. Fritz. You have a job. I think you should do your last year at college online and stay here in Bismarck with us.
Yeah, NDSU, University of Mary.
No, really, Mackenzie, you did a great job. And thank you to your wonderful parents. Your father sits on our board. Your mother is our all-star volunteer, as is your sister, Maddie.
Yeah, toiling away in the office as we speak.
She and Gracie Garothy are going to be starting Students United this year. So if you're a high school student out there, or you have a kid in high school, get them involved. That's going to be starting. Come see us this Thursday. We're going to be at Cashwise. They're going to be grilling out for us some brats and chips. Free will donation this Thursday night from 5:30 to 6:30. And then next Wednesday, we'll be at Specialized Cleaners at the lunch hour. So thank you to them for their Give and Grill. And if you want to be involved in the Little Black Dress campaign, give Amber Jensen a call. And we have an admin position available. So join us. Go on to msaunitedway.org.
Super Talk 1270 KLXX Mandan, Bismarck.